All right, welcome everybody. This is Mike Klingler. I'm going to be running through a lot more comprehensive details in this review than I did last time because I want to make sure people don't miss this just because we didn't cover enough for you to see that this is real, this is huge, this is a real opportunity to build wealth smart, to grow your money and protect your money. I want to start off today by talking about disruptive technology. Because if you don't see the big picture of how you create wealth and how you gain leverage, I don't care where you are in life right now. Like if you decide to create wealth, you absolutely can. But it takes a certain mindset and understanding of a few basic things, or you're not going to see the opportunities when they present themselves. And quite frankly, all of us missed huge opportunities in the past that if we had our mind open to them, we would not have. And literally hundreds of thousands of people, if not more, were able to capitalize on those because they were ready to receive the opportunity. Let's talk about disruptive technology. A disruptive technology is a technology that changes everything. And that creates a massive transference of wealth from one group of people to another. And it's in the development of disruptive technologies that people who aren't wealthy can become wealthy, or people who are struggling financially, who align themselves in the right place at the right time, get to have a massive amount of money flow into their life because they seized the opportunity with the disruptive technology. I think one of the best things that we can look back to, that we can all relate to, was the internet. And this is just a little picture of how the internet connects to everything. It changed every industry dramatically, and it did it right before our eyes. And literally millions of people created wealth from it globally. And everyone here who was an adult at the time that you saw that start to take place, back in even as far as the late 90s, even the early to mid 2000s, had an incredible opportunity. If you just aligned yourself with it, it happened right before our eyes, just like right now with cryptocurrency. So let's just put this all in perspective. Google came after Yahoo. Yahoo was one of the early search engines that was dominating at the time. Google came out later and ended up dominating. Now, Yahoo's still here. If you'd invested in Yahoo, you would have done phenomenal. So just relating this to the Bitcoin boom and cryptocurrency, you got to understand when you're in the right place at the right time with a developing industry of this magnitude, it doesn't really matter if you get everything right or you get everything wrong. If you're just there, for example, a lot of people thought Yahoo was going to be the #1 search engine. Well, fast forward many years, that wasn't the case. But those who invested in Yahoo still became mega wealthy. And companies like, so looking at cryptocurrency now, you just need to be here, paying attention, being involved. And you can, if you're with the right people and will get the right information, do extraordinarily well, even if you don't pick the #1. You don't have to pick the #1 to get extremely wealthy in a disruptive industry. But let's look at Google, the one that did end up prevailing. You got to remember, back in the late 90s, a lot of people were laughing at the internet. A lot of business analysts were saying there was no way it would ever go beyond the tech geeks. They were saying the technology was too slow. They were saying it was too difficult to use. A lot of you remember the first dial-up. It was a completely different experience, just like cryptocurrency now. But there was another group of people, if you were listening, who made it quite clear that what has happened was going to happen, just like in cryptocurrency. But we'll get to that. Let's look at what Google ended up doing in an industry back then that many people laughed at and said would never play a dominant role in our lives. It's now doing 110.8 billion in revenue, and that was last year. Over 110 billion in revenue a year. Its market cap is now at 850 billion. That's almost 1 trillion, guys. And this was in our lifetimes that this was thought to be impossible. This was said by many who couldn't see the future to not it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to be useful. There wasn't going to be a useful utility. And now Google is so much more than a search engine. They're involved in hundreds and hundreds of new industries that we didn't even know would have existed 20 years ago. They've got, here's an internet search engine company that's gone on because they have so much money from their success because they were involved with disruptive technology, the internet, not that long ago, just starting. They've got so much success now, they're investing in self-driving cars. Self-driving cars. They even have so much money, they sent these cars out and took pictures of the entire world and mapped it. Artificial intelligence, they're investing huge amounts of money into artificial intelligence. I won't even get into that. And then, of course, robotics, they're investing billions into these industries. It's just begun. Let's look at Amazon. Analysts now predict Amazon to top 1 trillion in market cap. Guys, this was at its infancy when we were adults, most of us. I know there might be some on the call that were younger, but most of us were adults and saw this happen. And so when I go over what I'm going to go over with you today, what I hope to accomplish is to help you not make the same mistake, to help you see the pattern that you lived through already so that you can see the pattern unfolding right before your eyes now and align with smart people who can help you take advantage of it right away. People made fun of Amazon when it was starting out. People said it would never, ever cut into brick and mortar businesses like Kmart and Sears or Walmart. And now Amazon is dominating. A lot of you probably know they just bought Whole Foods. Amazon sold books online, but they're so successful because they were aligned with a disruptive technology that they now have so much money they can buy entire huge corporations like Whole Foods that seem to have nothing to do with where Amazon started because it's been so successful. Now, I don't know if a lot of you know this, Amazon is now the second largest private employer in the United States with 541,000 employees. This is a company that people laughed at. Here's a picture of a YouTube video. You guys could all go search for it. It's hilarious. Type in 1994 Today Show. What is the internet anyway? And this video will come up. And here, Katie Korsick and these well-known media personalities are making fun of the internet, kind of teasing it. Katie here, it was either in this video or another video at this time, said she would never use email. They were asking, what is it? They don't even know. They didn't know what the @ sign, because they were giving an email address, the company, their Today Show's email address during the broadcast. They didn't know what it was. They didn't know what it was. That is where most people are at right now with cryptocurrency. If I can do nothing else on this call, it's to help you see that you're living through the same pattern of events that provided you the same kind of scale and scope of opportunity back then if you just aligned yourself with companies, opportunities, people, investments during that time that, looking back, should have been obvious, that you have at your disposal within your reach right now. They were making fun of these things. And now Amazon's the second largest employer in the world, buying up huge corporations, almost worth $1 trillion with a T. You want to get aligned with disruptive technologies. But okay, let's sort out, like, there's a reason, right? There's a reason why a lot of us missed that opportunity, and other opportunities that when we look back now look obvious. There's a reason. What is that reason? We need to get in touch with that reason so we can unfold it and not repeat the same mistakes. The reason is, at the time that it's happening, it doesn't seem so obvious unless you make an effort, and unless you look back and you see the cycle and you figure this stuff out. So we need to unwrap this. So, like, I put this screen up here because it's showing these different headlines, and the headlines confuse people. There's a lot going on, of course, and you feel like you've got to get it right or you can't capitalize. But what I want you to understand is a lot of the noise is unnecessary. The key, and what I hope to demonstrate by the end of today, is that you just need to align yourself with the right information and the right people to be able to continually capitalize with a strategy. And it's okay if you get a lot of them wrong. You just need to get aligned with enough of it right to compound your money, your earnings, protect your money that you're earning along the way. Because a lot of you made a lot of money in Bitcoin when it boomed, but you didn't know what to do when it busted. Protect your money that you're making along the way during the cycles, because even the internet had ups and downs as it was going way up. Protect your money while you're growing it, but still be able to capitalize consistently enough to build wealth on this disruptive technology. So ignore all the headlines and hoopla. I'll cover some of this to help you kind of get perspective on what the experts are saying and to help it make sense to you. So you can just kind of go, oh, okay, I don't need to listen to the noise. I don't need to be confused by the ups and downs. I just need to look at the big picture and align myself in the right place and have a strategy that consistently compounds my money so I can build wealth this time on this disruptive technology. So let's keep this all in perspective, and then I'll get down to the details. So again, big picture here, if we look at the entire Bitcoin evolution, it started really low here down in the dollars, like a few dollars, skyrocketed almost up to $20,000 at the end of last December. And then now, as of today, last I looked, it might have gone up or down since then, but it's over $7,000 today. Now, if you look over in the far right corner, you'll see it's way up from where it was a year ago. Even if we look at like September, if you can see my cursor here, and go back to August of last year, we're way up from there. So it's still going up. Now, some people say it could still correct a little bit. It could still correct from this ridiculous, I wouldn't say ridiculous, every disruptive technology, guys, understand this. Of course, go look historically and just common sense, but just from your own experience. Every disruptive technology that's going to go to just in crazy levels like we saw the internet create, every disruptive technology like that, when it first starts growing, there'll be a first little early bubble like this. Like this shot up before, higher than it probably should, although we can't really say that because it's what the market did. So you can't really say that, but you could say that, this is how the markets work. It shot way up, because people got excited. They started seeing it go up. They know that the potential is insane, but it kind of shot up fast based on just speculation, purely speculation, without a lot of fundamentals or people really understanding what was going on. And that happened also in the internet. There was a first bleep that went up and then it corrects. That's just how it works. That's just how it works. But this isn't a bad thing. It's still much higher than it was a year ago. But that was its first little bleep. And most experts, if you're paying any attention, all agree that this is very low. This peak of almost 20,000 is extremely low. It was the first time. The technology is extremely early. In fact, most experts have said that where we're at right now with crypto is where we were with the internet, like in the 80s, like not even in the 90s, but in the 80s in terms of its development and how high it's going to go. So if you were to look at this peak right here on the far right, the almost 20,000 peak, in a couple of years, when we look at this graph, that will be like this little tiny thing over here in December 2013. It will look like nothing. And it doesn't take much research. If you reflect back to where people were at with the internet, how they discussed it, who was saying it was going huge, why were they saying it, how did they know? And if you just think back with your own memory and how people were responding to it and what the market was doing, it's all very, very parallel. And it shouldn't be hard if you can just look back to see the same pattern unfolding. Okay, now let's look a little bit closer. This is a 1-year map of Bitcoin right now. I want to talk a little bit about where experts are saying it could go. Most experts, if you do any research at all, are saying it's going to go extremely high, but there's debate on how high when. Very little debate, very, very, very little debate among many different industries that usually conflict in views. Listen carefully. If you do any research at all, you're going to see and confirm easily, and you might have already seen this, but just not put it together. It is extraordinarily rare to have people from the banking industry, the finance industry, the same people who pushed the getting Bitcoin on the futures market, people in that kind of industry agreeing with mavericks offline that have been really successful in business but are kind of outsiders to the financial industry, who are also agreeing with just smart people in the tech industry but don't have a lot of business experience or background. It's very rare to see people from, oh, and also the people that believe that the markets, the financial markets, the economy as we know it and money is going to collapse, agreeing with people who don't believe that are in the banking industry that think it's going to continue forever. You have all these people from different backgrounds agreeing that Bitcoin is going to go to, they debate on the amount exactly, of course, but it's not unusual at all to hear 200,000, 500,000, 100,000 within a couple of years. That's a common theme. Just like if you go back to the 90s, you would have heard a lot of people, less so than now, which really tells you where this could go. But a lot of intelligent people were saying and backing up and explaining why the internet was going to do what it did. In fact, the internet had a lot more pushback and people saying, oh no, they didn't believe, than Bitcoin does, and with cryptocurrency in general. A lot of experts are all in agreement that it's going huge. The question is exactly when, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. That shouldn't be too much of a concern. Again, it's about aligning yourself with the right information and resources to consistently grow and protect your money in disruptive technology. That's what you've got to do. You don't have to get them all right. You just need to position yourself right and then find a strategy. Okay, so right now, Bitcoin's, well, at the last time I took the snapshot, which was about an hour ago, $7,100. Now, about a year ago, it was down around the 3,000 something mark. So it's still on the way up. Now, I want to be really clear. Some experts are saying, it's still the minority, but they have a good argument because of just technical charts. That because it went so high, and because it's still so high in comparison to what it was a year ago, just from technical analysis perspective, without getting into all the details, I just want you to know that some experts are saying that it could drop to like 5,000. Some are saying it could go as low as 3,500. Most are saying somewhere around 5,000, and then it's rock bottom. Then it's a bull market. It's going to go insanely high, gradually for a very, very, very long time. And you can study what they're saying and how they're breaking that all down. But one thing you really can't argue, unless you're a real outlier, really out in left field, one thing you cannot argue is that it is about ready to go to the moon. And you do not want to wait, like many of you did last time and like many people did, until it's like going way up, 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 and there's this hype around it. You don't want that to be day one that you really enter into a strategy. You want to get that all figured out now, either at the bottom of the bull market or, as some believe, right before you turn into that bull market. So you got all these experts. Here's one. This came out of Newsweek earlier this year. Bitcoin price predictions. Experts support billionaire investor Tim Draper's 250,000 by 2022. This is not unusual. Bitcoin headed to 100,000 in 2018. From CNBC. Here's one day ago. Bitcoin price prediction 2018. Can it hit 50,000 this year? And they're supporting that yes, it can. Here's someone predicting 700,000 from Fortune. It doesn't really matter. Again, you have to look back to what was being said in previous disruptive technologies where you had anything even close to this, and that was the internet. And if you look at the patterns and you look at the pattern of so many people across so many different industries that usually disagree, coming to the same conclusion that it's only a matter of time that we'll see insane returns, and this technology of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin having a huge impact in how we do business, how everything unfolds, how everything works. You really got to be, you got to have your blindfolders on to not see it. It is right in front of our faces. The only question really is, will it dip a little lower before it goes higher? And that's why, as I move into today's discussion, it's so important, because you can have a strategy where it doesn't matter if it dips lower. You can still profit when it dips lower, when you have access to the right information. So if it does dip lower before it goes much higher, that you can still profit from that. I'm going to talk about that. Here's something that came out today from one of the guys I follow. I follow a lot of this online, and they're all basically coming to the same conclusions one way or the other. This is saying the Bitcoin bear market is about to end. Here's what shows us the bad times are over. Almost everyone's in agreement that has anything worth their salt across many different industries that we're about to move into a bull market. Now, I said that it's important to find a strategy that you can capitalize on, whether we're in a bear market when it's going up or a bull market when it's going down. By the way, if I have people on the call right now that have never traded before, don't even have cryptocurrency, like that's fantastic. Like don't think that it is so darn simple. Don't think that you are excluded from this just because you don't know a few simple things. I didn't know anything about it a little bit over a year ago, nothing, zilch. And you have so much advantage by being introduced to it now after that first little spike up when a bunch of ignorant people like myself who didn't know anything were caught up in the hype and we didn't know what was going on. We weren't aligned with the right information and surrounded by the right people and resources. So we're just cut. But that's what I want to prevent from happening to you guys and to so many others. Is pretty soon there's going to be a lot of hype around it again when it goes back into the bull and it passes 20,000 and 30,000 and 40,000. And unfortunately, that will be when most people start paying attention. And that's when you can make stupid decisions. That's what we want to prevent. We want you to be able to protect your money while growing your money and be able to do it whether it's going up or down. And you absolutely can when you're surrounded by the right people and the right information and resources. So one of the resources that Unifii offers that I covered less extensively in our last webinar was Unifii signals. And they're just telling you, they're just publishing. They're publishing this information. It's not individual financial advice. They're not saying to do it. It's an important distinction. They are simply publishing this information, providing technical analysis, and they're saying when to buy and when to sell at the price. And you can decide whether you want to take advantage of those signals or not. Last webinar, I showed you the incredible results if people just had followed those signals historically looking back, because that's a great way to know if they know what they're doing. And just an example for those that are brand new to all of this little red marker indicates they said to sell, and you get a little beep on your phone or your computer and it says to sell, you sell, and you can see right here it dropped, and then it says come back in. It says you get another beep on your phone maybe a few hours or a couple days later, it says buy, and you buy back in, and what happens, see, it dropped. This is what I mean by protecting your money. Instead of losing money, what actually happened here was you got free Bitcoin because you sold at a higher price, and then it told you to buy back in when it was cheaper just a day or so later. And now you got free Bitcoin. You got more Bitcoin because you're able to buy back in. Not only did you not lose your money when it dropped, but you actually gained free Bitcoin. So when it goes back up, you grow your money significantly more, even if it just goes back up to that same price. So it protects you when it drops, and it helps you grow your Bitcoin when you buy back in at a lower price. And you can see it did it again here a little bit later. It said sell, and then you bought back in here at a lower price. You just got free Bitcoin. And then this green signal says come in and buy, and you see that it shot way up. And I made huge returns on that one signal. A lot of people did. It's very, very simple. Some people spending just a couple of minutes a day in making huge returns, those that are following the signals very carefully and who, you know, as shown, just in living off of it. They're literally just living off of the signals. Now, they don't always profit. Not every signal profits. You see this one, let's go back here to this. This one said sell because it's reading technical data, and sometimes things change. So it started to go down, but then it shot up real fast, so it said buy. But that's a little loss, very little loss in comparison to the big gains and the big saves. And we can look historically, and I did that last time, we'll do it again today, to see if you would follow these over an extended period of time, where does it end up? And it is incredible. It is absolutely incredible, whether it's going up or down. So last time I went over this very quickly. In fact, my whole webinar was less than 15 minutes, I believe. This one's going to be more extensive. This is a comprehensive review because I don't want the lacking of data to be the reason why some of you don't take advantage of it. Whether you're brand new to trading or you've been doing well and want to do better, pay close attention. This is powerful, powerful stuff. So here is a spreadsheet. If those of you who don't like data, just hang with me here because I got more to cover that shows just how simple this is. For those who need more data, I wanted to cover an additional nuance to all of this for you. And that is, there are fees. Like when you buy and trade stock in the stock market, there's fees that you pay, little fees. And it's the same thing here. When you go to an exchange, which if you're brand new to all this, we can easily show you how to do. It's extraordinarily easy. And you're buying or selling Bitcoin, which is really fast and simple, then you have a little fee. But it's very, very small. Like for example, if you trade $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, that would be 75 cents. If you traded $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, which today's price is like 1.3 Bitcoin or something like that, $10,000 would be $7.50 on the fee. So it's not like this huge fee, but I wanted to include it in the numbers just to show you still how incredible the results are, even if you factor in the fees. Now, during the time that Unifii was tracking the results from January 1st to basically July 1st, we can say June 30th, 6-month period, Binance's fees were 0.05%. Now they're at 0.075%. So, like I just said, 0.075% fee means if you sell $1,000 worth, that's 75 cents. So it's not a huge amount. But they did an analysis. Let me just, again, I know you're not all data buffs. So stick with me if you're not, because I want to show you how simple it is to capitalize on all this. At the same time, I wanted to be 100% transparent because the results are incredible to those that need the data. And I'm recording this for those that request a more comprehensive review from what we covered before. I like to keep it simple because it's so powerful, but I also want to make sure we cover this for those that, I don't want people to miss this just because they didn't see all the data. So we're going to cover the data, and if you don't like data, just stick with me here. I'm going to come back to the exciting stuff in a minute. Those of you who like data, stick with me here and understand that you can request what I'm showing you right now. Just get in touch with the person who referred you, ask for the live signal data from January 1st to June 30th, including Binance fees, and you can get this report. So this is, I'm not going to go through everything line by line because you can ask for it. We can send it to you. But just understand that it's starting out with the first trade on January 2nd, because that's when the first signal would have come in after January 1st. And it's basing this off of just saying, hey, if you had $10,000 worth of Bitcoin at the time, and if you don't have that much money, it's okay. You can start with $200 worth of Bitcoin and still be growing your money and growing your Bitcoin. We're just using 10,000 as an example. You can obviously start with much, much, much less or more, because the results in terms of percentage of growth of Bitcoin and money is the same. And the reason why I love this example between January 1st and June 30th of 2018 this year is because the market tanked. The market tanked. It went from like 13,382, and actually on January 3rd, it was 14,000 something, 16,000 something actually, or no, I'm sorry, yeah, 16,000 something still in January. And by the end of this historic record of trading with the signals, Bitcoin plummeted. So most people lost a ton of money. It went all the way down to like in the 5,000s and ended up at the end of June at 6,354. So it cut by more than half. That's why I love this example. So when we talk about growing and protecting your money, you have to understand, like, between this period without the signals, people lost a lot of money and didn't grow their Bitcoin if they just held it. And people trying to trade it without the right access to the right information lost a ton. But check this out. And again, I covered this before, but I wanted to cover it with Binance fees, with the little fees in there, just to make sure, because people were asking about it. I want to make sure you understand there's nothing to hide here. The results are incredible. So if you started on January 1st with 10,000 worth of Bitcoin, you would have been able to start with 0.74 Bitcoin. Or I'm sorry, you would have started with, I don't have that actual figure. When you ask for this, we'll have that for you. I think I have it at the bottom. I'll go over that in a second. I think you start with about 0.745 Bitcoin or something. Let's just say 0.75 Bitcoin. I'll have the exact number in a minute. And then it shows that you're buying and selling based on the signals. They say to buy, they notify you, they say to sell. If you follow the signals, including the Binance fees, after your first month, you would have grown your $10,000 worth of Bitcoin after the first month to $16,000 worth of Bitcoin. So that's impressive. Your fees would have been 1,333 though, so that you subtract that by 1,333, and you're at about $15,000, a little under $15,000. You made a huge gain following the signals if you followed them as they came. But you also grew your Bitcoin from about 0.75 Bitcoin to 1.73 Bitcoin, and that's important because when Bitcoin goes up later, because here it had actually gone down. So you made money, you increased your Bitcoin mass by more than double while the market went down. And we just have this, the way we did this math, because it's complicated to factor in fees per item, because you don't usually pay the fees each item. For those that know, you pay with BNB. For those that don't know, this is simple stuff, guys, and we show you how to do all this. But you pay with BNB, which is another coin that Binance uses. That's one of the exchanges. Anyway, just to keep the math simple, we have you covering the fees the first month, and then you pay out of your profits. So you started with $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. You end up at the end of the first month with $16,000 worth of Bitcoin, and your total fees for that month is $1,333. And so we just have the math set up where you subtract the $1,333 in exchange fees that month for trading from the $16,000 that you made. So obviously you're way up by almost $5,000 in 1 month when the market went down a lot, and you increased your Bitcoin by way more than double. And we do the math for each month, and let's just see where we end up. In fact, I'll go back to my slides here because I have an easier way to read this. Here's where you end up between January 1st and June 30th with the Unifii live signals of this year when the market tanked. Original BTC purchase point, this was the amount that I told you, I would show you the exact amount. Okay, this is, I think, what I showed you before. So the original BTC you purchased is 0.747 Bitcoin, which is worth $10,000. So in this example, you could have started with $1,000 with a Bitcoin. You could have started with $200 with a Bitcoin. The percentage gain would have been the same, and the amount of Bitcoin you would have grew percentage-wise would have been the same. You would have been growing and protecting your money while learning about crypto. So what I mean by aligning yourself with the right people and the right information to get in front of something, you'd be compounding. You'd finally be aligned with wealth creation. Original BTC purchase 0.747. In this example, it's $10,000 worth starting in January 1st when Bitcoin was over 13,000. You would have grown the amount of Bitcoin you had to 9.97 Bitcoin, almost 10 Bitcoin. You would have gained over 9 Bitcoin. Value 63,000 USD after fees paid. The buy and hold strategy would have still had your 0.74 Bitcoin, not even 1 Bitcoin still, and would have only been worth 4,777. It's amazing. Some nuances I want to share with you though about this, because I want to be fully transparent. I want you to understand, like there's nothing being hidden from what we're doing here. It is absolutely in your face, raw data, facts, can look at the historical trends of the signals, and I want to share with you nuances that you may not even consider that we should be considering when we look at this data when we're giving it a comprehensive review. So huge gains when the market tanked, following the live signals for those 6 months, when the market tanked. That's what we mean by protecting your money while you grow it. But one nuance I want to mention is Binance fees went up. I mentioned it earlier. During the time of this period, they were at 0.05%. Some people said, well, what would they be now? Maybe the results wouldn't be good if you count the Binance fees now. No, guys. Even with the Binance fees increase, it went from 0.05% fee, which is 50 cents per $1,000 traded, and it went up, and I think it was July 15th, it went up to 0.075%, which is 75 cents per $1,000 traded. Not a huge impact, but worth noting, because that's where the fees are at now. And if you recalculate this with the fee increase, it's still over a 533% gain, which would be a $53,000 profit and huge gains on your BTC. Now, this is the live signals. Some other nuances I want to mention, because this is a comprehensive review. It's difficult to trade every live signal. Sometimes they come in several times a day. So it's unrealistic to make you believe that you're going to be able to catch all the live signals. I mean, you just saw that chart over 6 months. It's hundreds of trades. Now, somebody who's crazy could sit there and do that if they're really feverish about capitalizing all of this. But there's also slight delays, like the site updates the BTC or the signal, and then there can be a 1 or 2 minute delay, which is from the Telegram service that notifies us. Now, for those that are with us already, I want you to know the company's building an app so the signal will come directly from the company website and not Telegram, which is another service, and that delay will go away. I want you guys all to understand, like, it's impossible to capture every perfect signal, but to see raw and real how well you would have done if you had caught every signal. If you were sitting there hitting refresh on the website because you were obsessed with being able to capitalize and make this much money, you could do that. And the signals are clearly, from a historical perspective, extremely valuable. Extremely valuable. Let's look at the daily signals. What's the difference between live and daily? Live are more often. Daily are more realistic for those of you who have full-time jobs or maybe 2 jobs and kids. Daily only takes a couple minutes a day, and sometimes less. Because daily is only like a signal a day. I think once or twice I saw 2 in a day, very rare. And often you can go several days without a signal, like a few a week. So most people, and we often recommend, follow daily signals just because it's so darn easy. Some people jump in and out of daily and live. It's recommended for most people to follow daily because it's so darn easy. Let's look at this data. So again, we're looking at January 1st to June 30th, one of the worst 6-month periods for Bitcoin, when it dropped from over 13,000 down to 5 and then 6, more than half. If you held, you would have started with this one with 0.7453 Bitcoin, because you're starting with $10,000 worth. And let's go ahead and look at this real quick. Again, you guys that are data buffs, you can request this sheet as well that shows the, each trade as the signals were given from January 1st to June 29th or June 30th, including Binance fees. And you can request this as well. But it is still incredibly impressive. And by the way, I want to show you, like, even if there's a lot of reds, it doesn't matter because those losses are small in comparison to the gains. That's how the signals work. They're protecting your money. So they might take a small loss temporarily, but for the month or for a 2 or 3 month period, give you huge gains. It's just how it works. And we can look historically at the data and build our confidence if they know what they're doing with their technical charts. And so again, you can request the details, but let me just give you the skinny on this so we can move forward for those that aren't data buffs that are getting bored. Daily signals, January 1st to June 30th, if you had just bought and held $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, you would have had 0.7453 Bitcoin, not even a full Bitcoin. You would have lost it, not if you didn't have the signals and you didn't have access to this information, you would have lost it. It would only be worth $4,724 now. That's a loss of over $5,200. Again, market went down. Most people lost more than half. They didn't gain the amount of Bitcoin they had. Now let's compare that to if you followed the daily signals, which are very reasonable. With the daily signals, any delay doesn't matter because it's over a longer period of time. This is different from the live. With the daily signals, you're not in such a hurry when you get the signal to buy immediately. You want to get it as soon as you can, but it's not the same because it can go for a very long time before it tells you to buy or sell again. Daily signals are more relaxed, doesn't take much time. Anyone can do daily signals. By trading the signals every day with the same 0.7453 Bitcoin during this same period, you would have grown it to 2.12 Bitcoin. You would have grown your 0.7453 Bitcoin to 2.12. And it'd be worth 13,439 instead of the 10,000 you started out with. Now I'm going to show you a few people that jump back and forth between daily and live that they do extraordinarily well as well. So you don't have to just follow the daily. You don't have to just follow the live. It's just recommended for simplicity. But as you get the hang of things, you start to find your own little strategies and the results can be staggering. This just tells us that the technical analysis has a consistent historic record of being extremely valuable to anyone that wants to align themselves with the disruptive technology that is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That while the market's doing its fluctuations, while it's going down, you can still be protecting your money while you're learning and aligning yourself with more information to capitalize on more opportunities while you're growing your money even when other people are losing it. It's a big deal to grow your Bitcoin during a time that the market tanked from 0.74 to 212, just following the signals, the daily signals, which are very easy and reasonable to follow, even if you have 2 full-time jobs and kids. Anyway, that $10,000 would have turned into $13,000. You grew your money, $13,400. The cost of the trades would have been $1,255. By the way, check with your tax consultant because that's probably, at least I should say possibly, For me, it is, and for you, it's possibly a tax deduction. Check with your accountant. So you would have turned 13,439 minus 1255. You would have turned your $10,000 into 12,184. You would have grown your money, including Binance fees. That's not accounting any tax deduction for those fees, while you grew your Bitcoin from 0.74 Bitcoin to 2.12. So if it goes back up, which most analysts believe it will go way beyond the 13,000 it started with, 13,000, when it just goes back up to where it was, that would be over $26,000, $27,000, $28,000 because you have more Bitcoin. And of course, a lot of people think it's going to go way up. So you got a lot of free Bitcoin during this process that you protected your money. Guys, it's incredible. I mean, it really, I can't say enough about it. And you need to understand, if you got caught up into any scams or BS in crypto, like a lot of people did, I got caught up. I'm not going to say necessarily, yeah, I would say some of them even scammed me early on before I knew what was going on. This is different because you're not giving your Bitcoin to Unifii. Unifii is empowering you to keep control of it, teaching you how to be in control of your money, to align yourself with this disruptive technology to protect your money during the down period. So if Bitcoin does go down anymore before it hits the crazy bull market expected, you're still able to make more Bitcoin and capitalize on that period of time. You don't have to wait for the bull market to start capitalizing. This historical data gives us that confidence. Now, does the past equal the future? No. That's not what we're saying. Can't say that. But you can gain confidence and start being smart by aligning yourself with people who can establish that they can provide some kind of financial resource to you, like these signals, to allow you to make money while you protect it. But you have to have some kind of way of figuring that out, and the historical data is one way that you can feel very confident because it's the real data, and it's extraordinarily impressive, way more impressive than it needs to be, to know that you want to be aligned with this company. Okay, so I mentioned some people kind of create their own strategies out of this and even do far better. So if you know anything about trading or you start to find your groove, because you have access to these incredible signals, a lot of people are actually even doing much better than if you just traded on every one of them. For example, Aaron Ellis here turned 5 Bitcoin into 54 Bitcoin over about a 6-month period. And he posts often now like huge day gains he has following the signals, where he'll jump in on a signal, because sometimes he's like working or he's busy and he doesn't want to be stressed out about it. So he doesn't trade on every signal. He trades on the ones that he feels good about, that are convenient for him. And like he posts all the time, things like this, 63,395 in one crypto trade. Remember, he started this whole process learning about how to trade with these signals not much more than 6 months ago with only 5 Bitcoin. Now he has over 54, maybe even more than that now. And he's making huge gains with the signals when it's convenient for him. Let me go show you a few other people here, guys, and then I'm going to break this down to show you how simple it is to capitalize on all of this, even if you've never traded before. If you're trading and you're doing well, how you can do far better. And if you're trading and struggling, how you definitely want to align with this. But no matter where you're starting from, we can help you. I'm going to come back to that. And also the business opportunity that's associated with this, because we're unifying people together and empowering people to be able to make more money by aligning with this disruptive technology, cryptocurrency. And it goes way beyond being able to just make money in the ways I showed you. It's really, really, really compelling. Okay, but I want to read a few things. This is a post I made the other day, August 25th. Was that yesterday? No, 3 days ago. So I said, the signal told me to buy at 60. I post these a lot. I'm not able to always post, but I'm making money all the time just following the signals. Like I keep it very easy on myself. I don't follow all of them. I just, when it's convenient for me, I follow them and I take profit all the time. The signal told me to buy at 6,458. So just to show you what that looks like, the signal looks like this. This is the exact signal I got. I just took a snapshot of what the signals look like. They post it in the website, and then they send you a notification on your phone or your computer. You get buzzed. You go log in and check it out when it's convenient, and it was for me this time. The signal told me to buy at 64.58, and I bought a little later around 64.70. Now, a couple days later, Bitcoin is at 67.60. So this is before it really shot up. So I've sold some to take some profits. So then I jumped over. This is when I was following the daily signals. Then I started to follow the live signals. And I made a little money there, and then I jumped back over to daily. That's how I do it. I'm still using my own like judgment. Some people just follow it verbatim, and I'll show you somebody like that in a minute. I use my own judgment, and when it's convenient for me, and I'm just taking profits. When I gain, I take some profits. And here, just really quickly, I made some profits and I posted about it. We do this all the time. Of course, I shared with you Aaron, but there's so many of these guys. Here's someone, Derek, posted a video actually where he showed how he's using the signals and he's been trading a while. He's able to do 95% wins. So I don't know, he talks about his strategy and everything. Everyone kind of starts to develop their own strategy. That's what I want you to understand. Shane here, he just follows the signals. You know, some people's strategy just follow the signals. He says, who else is making insane gains? This is 4 hours ago. This is probably about 5 hours ago now. Today, he goes, who else is making insane gains from the daily signals? Last buy was 67.13. Current price is over 7,000. Tons of people just made a lot of money on the gain because the daily signal, if they're following the daily signal, it told them to buy in the 6,700 range. Now it's over 7,000. And I know Robin took some profits on that. She follows the signals verbatim. She goes, my trading account, this is today, by the way, we get these posts all the time. I just grabbed a few before the call. My trading account in Binance last week had a balance of 8,330. These funds were deposited into my account after generating commissions in BTC from Unifi's compensation plan. And that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about in a minute, how we also help you generate income with our system. In case if you don't have a lot of money right now to invest with, we can help you generate that to start taking advantage of not just these signals, but other opportunities in this disruptive technology, cryptocurrency. She goes, I do not buy Bitcoin. Check this out, guys. I do not buy Bitcoin. I make Bitcoin. And again, using our system, you guys can too. And again, it's not this high risk BS where you're giving your Bitcoin to some other company that can run off with it. It's in your control. She goes, I make Bitcoin, and I'll show you the system we use, guys, in a minute, and trade with my earnings to profit off my profits and protect my funds. She means she keeps profiting, and then she takes some of the money and lives off of it. She completely lives off of her Bitcoin. She's making profits on the signal. She's making profits with the system. And she's just investing some of that and living off the rest. She goes, I live off my earnings. Today I've locked in funds, holding Tether at the moment. Tether's just USDT, it's like US dollar, guys, because I sold at 7,050. So she goes, locked in funds at 8,737. In just 3 days, with only 3 minutes a day, I've generated a profit of $507, going from 8,330 to, let's see, is that where 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I don't think I'm doing my math quite right. She's saying she profited $507 in 3 days. She goes, I do these trades via my iPhone and Binance app. If you guys don't know what that is, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. She's posting this all the time. She goes, looking back from June 28th till today, August 28th, so 2 months, I've generated, I'm down here, I've generated a total profit following Unifii signals alone. She follows them verbatim. She generated a profit in those 2 months of 3,309 trading, which is 1.28 Bitcoin. And then, of course, she's also making Bitcoin from the system I'm going to show you by empowering others to have access to these financial resource products to align themselves with a disruptive industry and build wealth smart while protecting their money. So she is making Bitcoin from the trades, and she's also generating Bitcoin with the system. Guys, it's really, really powerful. And again, this isn't where you're giving your Bitcoin to anyone else. It's in your control. Here's a quote from Ron Moncherulli, the CEO. It's empowering you how to take control over your own money. And that's really what got me. When I started to see the historical data on the signals and see they knew what they were doing, and I started to hear the deeper vision and how much they really care beyond just money. I mean, they're setting up something called Unifii Cares to give back and really bringing people into the fold that want to be a part of this vision to make a difference in the world. It just goes so much further than just what we have time to talk about today. But when I really listen to them talk about how so many people don't have control of their money, they have anxiety over how to grow their money. They have no idea how to make good decisions to capitalize on trends like cryptocurrency, and they make bad decisions. And that the signals are just one piece, one component to many things that they're doing to empower us all to take control of our money. That with the results, it just blew me away, and I wanted to be involved. And I want to invite you guys in, not just to take advantage of the signals, which I just showed you are extraordinary, but also to plug into the system and get behind the vision of the company. And if you don't have a lot of money to invest with now, to be able to use our system to generate Bitcoin to invest with, like Robin's doing. So you got the live signals as one of their products. That's the signals, coming in often. You have the daily signals for people with full-time jobs who can't trade all day long, or even many times a day, just a couple of minutes a day. That's what Robin follows verbatim, and she's making profits consistently all the time. And then you have Prosperity U, which is teaching people who don't know how to set all this up, just really simple videos, 3 minutes long, 4 minutes long, teaching you everything you need to know to start being able to trade. And then you got the altcoin reports. For those who don't know altcoins, they are other cryptocurrencies where you can make incredible gains over time because it's such an early industry. And it's complicated, though, to study their white papers. Their white papers are what you review to learn what they're all about. It's usually very technical and challenging to get through. So what is really cool that Unifii has provided are really simple reports that are really easy to follow, that summarize the white paper in a way you totally get, and they make recommendations like consider, strongly consider, or observe for those that are interested in altcoins. I want to now get into the system. I want to, we talked about the signals. For those of you who are data buffs, you want to see those files that I just covered, showing all the reports, showing the Binance exchange fees. You can request those. But I now want to move on to helping people understand how they can fully capitalize on Unifii, the business opportunity, and using our system to generate Bitcoin like Robin, myself, and so many are doing here, to be able to use to either live off of, but also invest with. So you can take advantage of the signals and other financial resource product opportunities that Unifii exposes us to, and just dominate in this industry, like get in front of this disruptive market and capitalize once and for all, and not let another opportunity like the internet, at this time cryptocurrency, pass you by, because you don't need to when you get with the right people. And again, we have historical data here to look way back to see that they know what they're doing. But there's so much more to it. So let's talk about this system. So I have a picture of this. It's just showing you what, I create systems. This is what I've done for years. The first system I made in my early 20s was using a fax on demand. And for those that have built network marketing businesses, you understand how hard it is to go to friends and family. I had burned my warm market list, as we call it. I didn't want to promote to friends and family, so I started creating automated systems. And the first really cool system that I made was fax on demand system. And I ended up building a huge organization in just a matter of months by faxing to people's fax machines who were on lists. They weren't just anybody. There were people that were interested in network marketing opportunities. And I would set my downline up with the software and teach them how to set it up. And they would just press a button, and they would have people send $5 in the mail for more information. And so our first call to a prospect was somebody who sent us $5 already and reviewed a bunch of information. And it's funny because everyone else in the company was giving that information for free. I love creating systems. That was the first time I created a really successful one. And from that point forward, I was always into attracting people to me and teaching other people how to attract people to them, to attract high quality prospects that are interested and not mess around with anybody that isn't, not waste your time, have fun with your business, and be able to grow. And so a lot of you know me. I don't want to go too much into this, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about my background. I'd created School of Online Business, which taught people these kinds of things. A lot of people know me from Renegade University. I traveled the world and spoke to large audiences. Here's me in Las Vegas speaking to about 1,200 people, teaching about the marketing funnel. The point is, I bring this expertise, and you guys can put me to work for you in terms of leveraging my expertise to help you have the same funnel that we're all using, that I'm using, to attract people to us. Without going into too much detail about it, the system works like this. We set you up with the marketing. That can be YouTube for free leads. It can be Facebook for paid advertising, high quality, and more expensive leads. Or it can be solo ads that are lower quality but higher number leads, and ends up kind of having maybe the same result. But we give you 3 different options. And using the funnel, you can actually start to investigate other options as well. But using these 3, you can just model what we're doing. And it drives traffic to your lead capture page. We set all this up for you. And then it automates the emails and the information and events like this. You're leveraging me and other leaders in the organization that create content. And you're basically just sorting for people that are interested. It makes the challenge that most people have of building a business, it makes it so much simpler. I mean, there's no comparison. And you're using the same system I am. We give you the same processes, and I even update them as I update mine. It's incredibly high leveraging. to be able to go about it this way and attract people to you. And as I said, you could use the free method, or you can, if you really want to speed it up, you can put some money into it and start having the system sort through higher numbers. There's also a funnel that we can create for you that merges your content with mine. So if you're a leader and you don't want like, you don't want to brand me, but you want to brand you, like you're thinking longer term and you want your list to see you as the leader, we can create funnels that incorporate you with me. So like you might have an introduction, you might start with a, maybe you just want to grow into that. You might make a little introduction, and then we append, and then that leads people to like my presentation, but now they see you as the leader they're looking for. Because guys, when you're building a list, that's a list that can pay you for years and decades to come. I had people that I didn't even know were on my list from 15 years ago who have recently purchased things that I'm providing, like with Unifii and things that I offered months ago. Like people could be on your list for years and they're still interested because you're providing content to them. Right now, you get to leverage the content I give you to build that list. But we also, if you're interested in leadership branding and the long-term value of that list, can slowly integrate you into that funnel, still leveraging most of my content, but putting you as the leader they're looking for so that you're developing that relationship. So it's even 10 years from now, that list could be valuable to you, 15 years from now. It's really, really powerful what we're doing with our systems. Now, what we do is we work as a team. And this is just a little snapshot of one of the teams. I have hundreds and hundreds of people in my organization and growing. But here's Peter Rogers that I'm working with. In fact, he's in London. He came in through one of my systems. I don't know when, and I was able to meet him while I was traveling in Europe, him and quite a few other people while I was in Europe, and met him for the first time. So we developed real relationships. And you may not want to take it that far, but I'm going to be traveling the world. And as people are coming into your system, you're going to be able to send an email. I'll give it to you to send out and say, hey, Mike's going to be in such and such country and city, or Mike's going to be in such and such in the United States. And if you want to meet him, hop on over and I'll be helping you build. I also do Zoom calls, webinars like this, constantly creating content, sending that out to your list, putting your name on it, positioning you to skip years and years and years of effort of what it would take to build such a system, to be able to leverage my system. And as I said, even incorporate leadership branding if you want to, so that you're branding yourself, so that your list is becoming, is knowing who you are if you want to. You don't have to do that, but you could. That would be for long-term value with your list. And then in Unifii, we're building in teams in 3x3, and I want to show you how powerful that is. This is what Robin meant when she said she's making Bitcoin, and then she's using that Bitcoin to live off of, but also invest back into her system or into her signals, and then she's making more money on the signals. And you can do the same thing. For those of you who don't have a lot of money, you can plug into this and into the system to generate more Bitcoin to use to invest and align yourself with this incredible opportunity, and also invest into some altcoins. So the Matrix compensation plan is awesome. This is the monthly. So it costs $79.95 monthly to subscribe to Unifii's service. That's extremely inexpensive, guys. I just showed you how much one would earn if they had followed the signals over the last 6 months. So this is nothing, absolutely nothing. And you want your business opportunity system to have a monthly ongoing charge, so you absolutely want it built in, but you don't want it too high that it makes it difficult for people to do, but you don't want it too low, or you're going to need huge numbers of people in your business to be able to make a good monthly income. So $79.95 for the value that we're getting, which I just covered, it's incredible. I only covered some of it, the signals, is very, very low, and you wouldn't want it any lower if you want a successful business, because this is what gives you residual income. And this is just one of the compensation plans. It pays you 9 levels deep. It pays you these percentages. And by the way, if 1% looks low, you want it low. They're so smart how they design this, because only 3 people are on your first level. So that's not enough people anyway to amount to much. So that's a low percentage. But as you go down levels, 3 times 3 is 9. So there's 9 on your second level. Still, you're only getting paid 3% because it's only 9 people. You couldn't get paid on that anyway much. You couldn't make much on that anyway because only 9 people there. And then your third level, 5%, starts going up as the number of people goes up, because 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, it starts becoming huge numbers. And if you get down 9 levels, it pays down 9 levels, that would be $125,000 a month. Now, you don't need it to go down 9 levels. It would take quite a while for it to fully fill up 9 levels. But nonetheless, we're talking about huge earnings because of the intelligence of the system's design, the fact that they understand that subscription is key for a business model, and the way this whole thing is built, where you get to earn Bitcoin as this is starting to grow and then invest that back into the signals like Robin talked about doing, and then earn money on that too. It's absolutely genius. And the numbers become very, very impressive. And again, we're helping do that. We're working as a team to do that using the marketing funnels, the same marketing funnel I use, leveraging my content, leveraging me and other leaders on your team. If you're working with a leader, they'll let you know. And we have amazing leaders. I'm not the only leader in the organization. And you can leverage all of us to be able to work with your contacts, work with your leads, put us to work. But we're building as a team, including leaders placing people underneath other people. It's just the way the system works with the matrix, because you can only go 3 wide. And so I signed up a couple hundred people already. So a lot of my people fell underneath other people and so on and so forth, because everyone's plugged into the system. And so you start with the, this is you, let's say at the top, and you've got 3 people. This is a business organization. And then the next level is 3 people, and you get to place them in the empty spots. And then as they're using the system, they're placing them in the empty spots. And as more and more people are having success with the signals and loving Unifii and using our system, it starts to compound and grow and build underneath. But there's other compensation plans also working at the same time on top of that one. Really, really impressive. So there's the referral bonus that's part of this system. The matrix I just went over, which becomes staggeringly high with a monthly residual income, like I just showed you, as you build 3 by 3 as a team. And then there's a matching bonus I'm going to talk about. So I still want to cover the referral bonus and the matching bonus. So the referral bonus is happening at the same time. It costs $279.95 to sign up with Unifii. That gives you 1 month access. And then from that point forward, after that 1 month, if you want to continue, you subscribe with the $79.95 a month. You do not have to pay the $279.95 per year. It's a one-time thing. This is very reasonable, guys. This is very reasonable. If it was any lower, it couldn't be legitimate. You can't charge less and give people access to what it takes for them to be able to provide everything that they do, the technical analysis. And I showed you the results looking 6 months back. If you want real value and you want anything that's really going to help you in any significant way, you need to be willing to pay for it. This is extremely inexpensive. So one-time cost of $270, plus if it was any less, you couldn't make money building a business with it. Some people just have no sense with business. Understand that they couldn't get any lower. One of the reasons I got excited about this was because it's so inexpensive and the value is so extraordinarily high. $279.95 to sign up, and so that out of that they're paying this amount. So if you referred the person, you would get $60 for that person enrolling. On the second level, if other people that you've enrolled are referring people, you get $20. On the third level, $25. On the fourth level, $35. On the fifth level, $50, because you can often have the largest number of people on that last level, so that's smart. Let's see how that adds up. If everyone just referred 3 people and helped each other refer 3 on down 5 levels, that would be $16,000 in the referral bonus. So this is extra money to help you buy more Bitcoin, take advantage of the signals, and for some of you to help pay for bills. It's just on top of that matrix, that 3 by 3 I showed you that has the staggering numbers. If you were to go further than the 3 by 3, and over time people do, and refer 5 who did 5 down 5 levels, that would be $182,000. But I want to go back, and really emphasize this matrix bonus really gets me excited because we're building in teams that it's monthly and residual. But the referral bonus is happening on top of that at the same time as you introduce people to Unifii for the first time. Very intelligent system with multiple income streams. Referral bonus offering some upfront capital as you're introducing your 3 and your organization is, and then the residual income, the monthly from the subscription for a product that has way more value. I mean, it's insane, the level of value that it's providing for the cost. And then we look at the matrix bonus. So as you have leaders developing underneath you, people like me, people who really get serious, you're gonna be, let's say I'm really deep though, let's say I'm past your 9th level. Or let's say I come in on your 5th level, because leaders often aren't directly referred by you. When you're using our system and your organization's using our system and they're all building their list and the emails are going out and people are learning about this and they start to plug in and they start to see the results with the signals and they start to get more excited, like what usually ends up happening is a leader emerges many levels down. And so you might not get to capitalize on all of that with the referral bonus compensation plan and the matrix, even though the matrix pays 9 levels. Someone could emerge on the, let's say, the 8th level and build a huge organization. The matching bonus allows you to capitalize on that. And the way that works is as you reach certain benchmarks, the first one being 25,000 PGV a month, so that's total volume, total sales. And you might think, oh, that sounds like a lot. I'm already past this, guys. And we just got started less than 2 months ago. So the compounding hasn't even started yet. And I've already achieved that. And so have many others. So don't think it's a lot, because when you refer a few, who refer a few, who refer a few, the numbers become staggering. Let me just get out the calculator and just go, I'm going to do it right now on my phone. This is important to understand how achievable this is. And we're working together as well. So the spillover is happening as well. Not all, okay, so if we go 3 times 3, so the second level has 9 times 3, the third level has 27 times 3, then 81 on the 4th level, 243 on the 5th level, 279. If we just stop right there and go 79.95, we're already at over 58,000 a month volume. So you don't have to produce all that volume yourself. It's through the teamwork, through bringing in 3 who bring in 3 who bring in 3, it quickly blows up to that. And again, I've already surpassed that, and I haven't even considered myself started yet. So once you achieve that, you start earning a matching bonus on those underneath you. So whatever they're earning in their matrix as a total check, your whole front level. So if you have 3 people on your front level, you're going to get 5% of whatever they got paid in the matrix. And that's how you reach huge, lots of depth in your organization as leaders develop underneath you. And you even get on the second level 5% of what they made in their matrix. As you reach these other levels, vice president, president, ambassador, you get paid higher percentage matching bonus down deeper levels, as at ambassador all the way down 5 levels. And guys, we are here early. We're in front of a developing industry that we could call absolutely a disruptive technology. It is mind-boggling when you think of the growth that Unifii is going to have as more and more people learn about the success of the signals and everything else that they provide to help people grow and protect their money. And we're working together in unison, leveraging my system, so that you don't have to just go to friends and family, but you have a process of marketing that's automated. And we're collectively doing that. So the spillover in the organization, the growth of those underneath you, duplicating that system starts to compound. And as you look 6 months, 10 months, 12 months down the road, the compounding becomes incredible. It's completely conceivable, because you're here so early, the company's only 2 months old, that 1 year from now, 2 years from now, many people will be achieving these higher levels. And you're not just earning on the matrix that I showed you. You're not just earning on the referral bonus I showed you. You're not just earning from investing your Bitcoin like I showed you, but you're also earning a matching bonus on those leaders developing underneath you, people like me that are being attracted to Unifii. When I first got attracted to Unifii, it's because I knew, because of the depth of mission, that they were going to attract quality people. And we're attracting just through our system, through YouTube videos. And a lot of times people just posting my YouTube videos, people getting on the list, are leading us to people who have built large organizations in other companies, people who are tired of the scams and the schemes, that want something solid and real, that they can build a real tribe with, that they can build a long-term business with. We're attracting high quality leaders, high caliber leaders across the way, across and around the world. And I'm telling you, if you start plugging into this system and you commit to this, you're going to be able to attract them as well, because we're only 2 months old and the data is so compelling that we can look back to show the validity and the value of what's being offered here for such a little cost. So again, going back, the matrix is really what makes this so exciting initially, because we're building 3 by 3. The matrix doesn't go wider than that. The other one, the referral bonus, you can go as wide as you want, but the matrix, and it's also the matching bonus, you can go as wide as you want. but the matrix goes just 3 by 3, which is actually very advantageous that it only lets you go 3, because then your upline spills over into you. And as I said, like I brought in a lot of people that spilled over, and the collective of everyone doing a little starts to compound to a lot. And when you factor in my system, it becomes really, really amazing. And again, here's an actual screenshot of just one of those little sections, one of those little teams within my larger organization, showing you, Peter Rogers here on top. He's in my organization somewhere. And then we got Redfern, Richard, he goes by Red, Adam Gregory, Phil here, and then that's that 3. That's those first 3, right? And then now when Peter brings somebody in, it goes down, it goes lower. And when Red brings somebody in, it goes lower. So again, everyone using the same system that I provide, same content, everything. It's incredible to help people generate Bitcoin so they take advantage of the signals if you don't have a lot now. Okay. If you've never traded before, you do need a Binance account. If you don't, that's where we trade. The Bitcoin's in your control. It's just an exchange that's used globally. It's very easy to get one set up, really, really easy. You can also use BitMEX, but I recommend starting with Binance if you don't have a Binance account. However, contact the person who referred you here before you get your Binance account, because they do have a referral program, and you want the person who referred you to have as much of a vested interest as possible to support you and help you. So reach out to them and say, hey, I don't have a Binance account, give me your referral link. Or maybe you have a Binance account, but you haven't really used it and you're willing to get a new one because you haven't really used the one that you set up. Set up a new Binance account with the referral link of the person who referred you here, because you want them to have as much of a vested interest in helping you succeed as possible. So why not let them have a little bit of that referral bonus that Binance pays? And as you're using our system, same thing will happen to you. People will come to you for your referral link to Binance because they want to work with you. They're going to want your support. And so not only are you making money in Unifii with our system, plugging people into that incredible resource, but you're also making money every time someone's trading on Binance. You get a percentage of those fees, and it does add up. Personally, I'm already close to a Bitcoin that I've made with Binance. And again, I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started. So it can add up. But you need to get a Binance account. If you don't have one, reach out to the person who referred you and ask them for their link to Binance, so you can get set up with Binance. And also, if you need help, let them know you need help. We're real people who are really here to help, not a bunch of bogus, hype, schemy stuff. This is the real deal. And we're looking for quality people to build wealth, to be able to do amazing things with down the road. If you have a vision or a mission of doing something that's important in the world, like we are interested in working with you. I'm not saying that's the only people. If you just want to come in and make money, fine. But I do want to call out to those of you who are attracted to the Unifii Cares project. Maybe ask about that if you haven't heard about that yet. We are really interested in working with people that really want to make a difference. I just want to give you an example. One leader who came on board, first time I talked to him, this is kind of people that are attracted to Unifii. He's built an organization, over 20,000 people in a previous company, network marketing company. He's ready to do something different. When I first talked to him, he was getting ready to go to the jungle in Thailand to help with a nonprofit to build schools for those that are poor living in the jungle because they don't have access to schools. That's what he does with his time. That's the kind of people I like to work with. It's very impressive to me that Unifii is continually attracting that caliber of person. Again, I'm not saying maybe you're not in a place where you can do that philanthropic work yet, but that's where we want to get you if you have that kind of desire. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up and say this. It's not very often that a disruptive technology bigger than the internet comes around. And I would suffice to say that it's probably not ever going to happen again in our lifetimes. Could, but probably not. And if it does, not for a very long time. Get in front of one of, if not the most disruptive technologies that we have ever seen, cryptocurrency. Join Unifii's business opportunity in addition to that, and use our marketing system. What we're talking about here is building wealth and protecting it. And I showed you the historical data. It is compelling. And last, you got to take action, man. You got to take action when you see it. When you see the opportunity, you have to take action. So the way you take action here is look for the link either on this page. Now, those of you who are here with me live, you won't see a link. But those listening to the replay, look for a link. If you're on a web page, we're going to stick this up on a web page. There should be a link where you can just sign up right now and get in. Or look for an email from the person who referred you to all of this and to Unifii. And don't go online searching for somebody else, guys, or you're not going to have access to my system. If you want access to everything that we provide, be sure to get in touch with the person who actually referred you to what you're listening to right now so that you have access to the content, to the automation, to the marketing automation and system and marketing funnel that we provide to you to help make this systemized. So you're not out there just trying to scratch your head figuring out how to build it. And if you can't find an email from the person who referred you, if you aren't on a page right now and can't find the link, reach out to whoever referred you to this and tell them, hey, I have some questions. They can plug you into a leader to answer those questions, or you just let them know, I want a link, I want to sign up, I want to try these signals. I want to plug in. I'd like to plug into the system. I'd like to learn more about the system. Reach out, take that action. Don't sit on this any longer, because the longer you sit on it, the more time that goes by that you're not benefiting from all the momentum, from all the spillover, from everything you could have learned yesterday that you didn't learn because you're just joining up today. You're going to be surrounded by people who support you, who plug you into all kinds of resources. The signals are just the beginning. And bottom line, put us to work while it's early. You get in, you start plugging away with the system, you're going to be able to attract other leaders like me that can put in several hundred people. Somebody just signed up a few weeks ago, already enrolled over 800 people because they love what's happening, just as I do. There are many leaders coming in that are moving their old business networks over to this because they want to build something solid for the long term. Or they build a business outside of crypto and they want to build it in crypto, but they don't want it to be some schemy thing. They want it to be something that's solid, where we have historical data that we can look at and see, okay, they know what they're doing. And where it goes beyond, like I said, with the Unifii Cares project. Put us to work, use our system, get the funnels working for you. Start building a residual income with a company that really cares about empowering you to take control of your money. Get in touch with the person who referred you here and plug in, guys. I'll see you guys soon.